One of the things that we cooked at John's restaurant cooking class was his bruschetta with king prawns cooked in cognac cream and cherry tomatoes. We'll start by prepping the shrimp.
Where that is in the middle, just take these first ones off. Okay, and then just pull up nice and easy.
Then you squeeze the tail?
Yeah, you squeeze the tail and it pops out. Okay, and then all we have to do is take that back. What I'm going to do, this is our bruschetta, so we're going to do our bruschetta. So basically we've got our, I've just started to prep up the bread over there. So bruschetta basically comes from simple bread, tomatoes, good olive oil, and that was about it. A little bit of garlic to flavour it, and a bit of salt. And that's basically a bruschetta. Now, obviously, over time, things evolve. People do other things, different toppings and everything. The first time I ever had it, I went wild. You know, that's tomato on bread. You know, and it's the bread. It's got to be right. The tomatoes have got to be right. Everything's just got to be just so. Obviously, not all around the world you can get the right ingredients to do that. You take it home and it doesn't come out the same way. But there's a nice little trick, even if you can't get really good Italian tomatoes. I use these piccadillis. Piccadilly is a cross between a San Marzano and a cherry tomato. Oh. Okay, and that's what you get.
Piccadilly.
Yeah, Piccadilly. So the Piccadilly has got a nice flavour. There's a lovely, let's say, ratio between how much you've got there and sweet enough as well to be able to eat them raw. So you've got a nice flavour, and they stay together nice as well. Okay. They don't break down so quick. And that's the nice thing about this particular dish is what I want to do. So I'm just going to cube them up basically, not too small, but you still want to see the tomato. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook these in the oven for about 15-20 minutes, okay? And the reason I'm going to do that is we'll season them. We'll season them a little bit of chili pepper, a little bit of basil, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of salt. I'm going to pop them in the oven, and that'll take that juice down, so it concentrates that flavour down. So, and you can do that, I think, maybe in the States where maybe the tomatoes are not as good as they are here, but it's a good way to get a lot more flavour out of them. So you concentrate that flavour down without actually destroying them.
And how high is your oven?
The oven, I'm going to put the oven on about 200.
350.
Fahrenheit 392.
What's that in Fahrenheit?
392.
392, whatever.
John, should we cook up the pasta or no?
Here John is mincing the garlic and the basil.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Just put some cling film over the top. Some raw basil. Basil's taken a bit of a smash. A little bit of salt. A little bit of garlic. And something I use that we use because we cook, this is just a little bit of vegetable stock, dried vegetable stock, good quality vegetable stock, goes on top. A bit of chili. You need, the oil is fine, you put quite a bit of oil on. Obviously what
Go to the mill in a little over a month. I'll be going to the mill.
Okay. I'll show you this just quickly. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna just put a little bit of chili on each one. This works because you've got.
Okay.
A little bit of our
Vegetable stock.
vegetable stock. This is a little bit of vegetable
Crushed
stock.
vegetable stock.
Crushed vegetable stock. A little bit of salt.
Yeah, it's dried vegetable stock.
It just gives you a nice background flavour without putting too much salt on there. Okay. What we want to do here is we don't want, when our tomatoes, we don't want something bland underneath. These you can eat on their own. You could even do these as bread and serve them as they are. If you were doing like a party or something, like put this in the middle of the table and they'll go like mad
Okay.
because they're really, really tasty. It's a little bit of, it's a bit like doing garlic bread but with olive oil. So just kind of a little bit of garlic on each one, a little bit of basil on each one. And you can use dried basil as well for this.
Okay.
If you want to use dried basil on this one, use a little bit of dried
Don't say
basil.
that at the house. I have so much basil, they need to use it.
Yeah, let
I
them
know.
use it. Yeah, let
We
them
did
use
some
it.
grapes. We picked a whole bunch of
Okay.
grapes.
Grapes, good.
You could buy some from me. You could be a supplier.
You could
barter much further.
Okay, basil, they're ready to go. So I'm going to pop them in the oven now. Give them a little cook. They've got another 10 minutes to do it.
This is a stock that John will cook the prawn in. It's made from the prawn shells, the cherry tomatoes, some basil, garlic, some other seasoning, and some cognac.
Just turn it over in that and let it, we want to get the sweetness of that and just caramelize. Your alcohol's going to go up anywhere, it's just going to evaporate. So then we just want the sweetness of that and give it our background flavour. All we're going to do now is add water to that and then let that cook. Let that cook out, let that cook out. That is fine, and I'll just put some water in there. Each part has got its role to play basically. But what's fundamentally what you've got, good quality. Good quality. You've made your stock. Once your stock's ready, and that won't take long. It's coming together nice. Squash them tomatoes down in there. Get that.
As you'll notice, the bruschetta and the tomatoes are out of the oven. The stock is off of the fire to soak up the flavors. We're moving on to yet another activity. After we finished up a session on making ravioli and eating them, John is now going through the process of straining the stock and getting ready to assemble the bruschetta with prawn and cognac.
That's just parsley and garlic.
Parsley and garlic.
Parsley, garlic, and a little bit of the, what's it called, basil.
Oh yeah.
I'm just going to put some chili flakes, but very, very lightly. And then we're just going to use a little bit of that.
I know. I do now.
Cognac again.
Yeah.
But before, when he was putting pasta in the pan like that, with salt already in there, you know, but you really do it before you put it out.
It came in very handy.
Now all the alcohol's gone there.
Yeah.
We just want that to caramelize a little bit. Just a little bit.
John now adds a couple of ladles of the stock.
That's interesting.
He's very good.
Just enough to cover them.
The bruschetta and the tomatoes went back into the oven.
Our bread's ready.
Perfect.
Nice and toasty. If you're doing this for, as I said, you want to recreate this dish. So you get everything ready like I got it all ready. Alright, one thing with food and sitting in a fridge, you can put them in the fridge, but food acts differently when it's cold. Okay, and I don't mind them if they're sitting there, you know, maybe even an hour's fine outside. Obviously cover them up if there's flies and things,
Sure.
but I mean, they're quite fine to sit outside.
Okay.
And things like steaks, if you're cooking anything like steaks, lamb, chicken breasts, take it out of the fridge first.
Oh yeah.
Don't cook
Sure.
it from cold. It's a bit like having a cold mussel.
Now the muscle is
Yeah, it's stiff.
tense.
It'll stay that way. You want it nice and relaxed. Nice and relaxed. So we put a little bit of our... And you need good quality this. So you're just going to put a little bit of cream in there.
I'm sure you have that calories now.
But what we want to do is bring this down. Our prawns are cooked. And as there's nothing worse than overcooked prawns. So they're nicely cooked. So we're going to let that come down. And that's what I'm saying about using a wider base pan. Obviously with us it's speed as well. We have to get things done quickly, but also as well convenience wise, when we've got all this space now that it's starting to do that. And if you just swirl it around in that, take it around.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah. So our prawns are ready now. Just gotta correct the salt. Because it's cognac, just put a little drop.
Everything's ready. It's now time to plate up.
Goodness.
So it's nice. It's gonna be pretty as well.
Slice down on that.
Yeah, we've got big ones.
Rocket.
I had to explain that to them.
Oh,
That rocket is arugula.
Yeah, it's arugula.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
But they,
Arugula.
but the rocket is in English.
Just gonna pop them on there now. Just enough tomatoes to go over the top of it. It doesn't matter if the odd one falls down. This is not one of them.
These are on steroids.
Okay.
Okay, Bob, I kind of expect.
The only thing left to do is to sit down and enjoy it. This is the front of John's restaurant in Todi. If you're ever in Todi, make sure you stop by John's restaurant to dine. You'll need reservations.